All right, so what we're diving into today, it's not just a story. It's really more of a parable, one that's been forged in both steel and spirit. We are about to watch as a celestial warrior descends from the heavens to test a new and, let's face it, very strange kind of god. This is the Valkyrie's arrival, and it's a trial where the real battlefield is the soul itself.
And boom. With those words, the whole reckoning begins. Just try to picture this scene. You have this being of immense power, the Harlequin jester, and he's suddenly confronted by the Valkyrie, Brynhildr. This line right here, this is her opening shot. There are no pleasantries, no warm-up, just a direct, piercing accusation that cuts right through all the noise and sets the stage for everything that's about to unfold.
So how did she even get there? Well, not quietly, that's for sure. The way it's described is just incredible. Brynhildr doesn't land. She strikes the marketplace floor like a fallen star. The impact alone sends this shockwave of pure authority ripping through the crowd, scattering the kneeling last men into the dust. I mean, this isn't just an entrance. It is a declaration of cosmic power.
Her purpose here is what's really fascinating. See, she's not some mindless soldier following orders. She's a sovereign anima, a powerful, independent spirit acting on her own accord. And she's here to conduct a test. Is the Jester's whole grand project, this rewilding of humanity, a real step forward? Is it true evolution? Or is it just a beautiful, incredibly dangerous delusion? Her ancient spear is practically humming, and it demands an answer.
Now, the core of her message, the real warning, it's delivered at the very point of that spear. This isn't just a threat of violence. No, this is a revelation of a cosmic-level danger. A truth so sharp, so pointed, it has to be delivered with the edge of a weapon.
And here is the threat she names, the unholy alliance. She's warning the Jester that the very fabric of the cosmos, the void itself, has been twisted. It's been turned into a celestial trap, a conspiracy specifically engineered to capture and imprison powerful free souls, souls just like his.
And the masterminds behind this trap? It's a truly terrifying duo. On one side, you've got Loki, the Norse trickster god himself, the master of chaos and lies. And on the other, you have the pale cynic, a figure of pure, absolute nihilism. The fact that these two forces have joined together, well, it represents a threat on an entirely different level. It's a combination of ultimate cunning and ultimate emptiness, and it's aimed squarely at the Jester.
This really breaks down Brynhildr's core criticism of the Jester perfectly. From where she's standing, his power, as immense as it is still incomplete. Yeah, sure, he's a self-made god. He's integrated his own darkness, his own shadow. But the way she sees it, his power is like a newly forged blade that's never been properly tempered. It's unhardened. It's never been tested by the absolute zero, the coldest truth of the void, which is exactly where his true enemies are now waiting for him.
So how does the Jester respond to this dire, spear-point warning? You'd think with fear, right? Or maybe rage? Nope. He meets her intense gaze with a malicious grin, and his bells chime in this dissonant, beautiful defiance. He doesn't shrink from the threat one bit. In fact, he seems to welcome it.
And this is the key. This is why he's smiling. The Jester has this profound insight into what's happening. He understands that Brynhildr's challenge isn't born from malice or hate. He sees it for what it is, the highest form of star friendship. It's this idea of an aggressive intimacy. It's a powerful concept, right? The idea that the deepest connections aren't about comfort, but are forged in the fires of conflict. She isn't trying to destroy him. She's trying to force him to evolve. And right here, we get to the very heart of the Jester's entire philosophy. His violent breath curling around her spear, he just scoffs at the whole idea of a fragile system. He basically says that any law, any power, any order that's so brittle it can be broken by the betrayal of a few gods, well, that was never a real law in the first place. It was just a flimsy curtain, and he has absolutely no use for it.
Which leads to this, his ultimate declaration of confidence. The Jester just mocks the heavens' big bet against him. And why? Because he believes the Overman, this self-surpassing being he's trying to become, is defined as the one who has already faced his own annihilation and integrated it into himself. He's already survived his own end, and because of that, he sees himself as immune to their little celestial infection. Now, it seems like Brynhildr sees the truth in what he's saying, and she actually lowers her spear a bit. But don't get comfortable, because the trial is not over.
Not by a long shot. In fact, it's just entered a much more subtle and honestly, a far more dangerous phase. She's about to reveal the true nature of the trap, and it's not what he, or any of us, would expect.
The real attack, she explains, isn't going to be some direct cosmic fight. It's not a war of wills clashing in the heavens. No, it's a war for perception, for belief, for the very hearts of the common people, the herd. And Brynhildr herself, she's the unwilling centerpiece of this whole insidious strategy.
And this breaks down just how brilliant, how inescapable this trap really is. First, the enemy weaponizes love. They take the people's adoration for the noble Valkyrie and turn it into a weapon aimed right at the jester. This move forces him into an impossible choice. I mean, look at the outcomes. If he accepts Brynhildr as a goddess, he gives in to a new religion, which would destroy his entire philosophy. But if he defies her, this beloved hero, he'll immediately be branded an unholy monster in their eyes. It's a perfect spiritual checkmate. Either move is a loss.
So, in the quiet that follows that revelation, the whole confrontation just shifts. The physical test is over. The intellectual trap has been laid bare. So now, the trial has to move to its final battlefield.
She offers him her hand, but make no mistake, this gesture isn't one of peace or surrender. It's a bridge. It's an invitation to walk with her right into the heart of the enemy's territory. The marketplace temple, the place where this trap is being woven on what they call the heavy loom. And the scene ends on this chilling, beautiful, and just deeply ominous image. As they get closer to the temple, a light starts to shine from within. It's the pale cynic's white lantern, and its glow is already working its magic, turning the priests inside into these silver ghosts. The enemy isn't waiting at the gates. He's already taken over the sanctuary.
This makes one thing terrifyingly clear. This is not the end of the story. No. This is the moment the Grand Reckoning gets turned up to 11. It's escalating, entering a new phase that is somehow both divine in its stakes and completely, utterly destructive in its nature. The final battle is about to kick off.
Which leaves us with this final, central question. It's really the core dilemma of the entire parable. The jester, he was ready for a war of force, a war of will. But how do you fight a war when the enemy's greatest weapon against you is love, and the battlefield is what people believe in their own hearts? That is the trial he faces now.